The day began just like any other. The scent of fresh coffee in the air and the soft murmur of early morning conversations. I stepped into our usual cafe expecting comfort, familiarity, maybe even the smile she used to give me. But when my eyes found her, my stomach dropped instantly. She didn't see me. She didn't even look up. Her entire world, in that moment, revolved around the man sitting across from her. They leaned toward each other, sharing quiet laughter, wrapped in that warm, intimate closeness that once belonged to me. Every small movement, the angle of her head, the gleam in her eyes, the gentle, breathy laugh, was directed at him alone. And in that single moment, betrayal slammed into me with full force. My throat tightened, my chest ached, yet I stood frozen in place, locked in a cold, controlled fury. For months, the warning signs had been there. The overly long phone calls she'd hide the second I entered the room. The secretive texts she'd brush off with careless excuses. The subtle flirting that I tried to convince myself was harmless. I kept hoping it was nothing, that she'd come back to me, that she'd realize what she was risking. But seeing her there, glowing in the morning light, laughing like I didn't exist, shattered every illusion I had left. This wasn't harmless. This wasn't a joke. She had crossed a line, and the boldness of it all left me both wounded and strangely collected. For the first time, I understood something clearly. Talking wouldn't fix anything. Only action would show her exactly what my worth was. I walked over and sat down across from her, forcing calm into every movement, even though my thoughts were racing. I needed her to understand the weight of what she was doing, without giving her the emotional reaction she expected. She finally noticed me, and a confident, almost smug smile crept onto her face. The same look she wore whenever she believed she had the upper hand. She expected anger. She expected pleading. She expected me to fall apart at her feet. But I didn't give her any of that. I simply met her gaze, steady, composed, silent, and that silence unsettled her far more than any outburst ever could. Even the man beside her stiffened, sensing the sudden shift in the room. Minutes dragged by like hours. She kept talking to him, leaning in, touching her hair, pretending I wasn't there. And then it hit me. The real power wasn't in confronting her. The real power was in removing myself entirely, letting her feel what it was like to be unseen by someone she thought she controlled. I pushed my chair back slowly, deliberately, every movement a message. I wasn't retreating. I wasn't defeated. I was choosing my self-respect. Standing up carried more weight than any words could. As I walked toward the door, the entire cafe seemed to pause. Conversations faded. People looked up. Spoons hovered midair. Even she faltered for a split second as she realized I wasn't going to play the part she expected. No begging. No shouting. No tears. Just quiet, unwavering resolve. My silence thundered louder than any heated argument. She wanted to flaunt her choice. She wanted to assert power over me. But in that moment, the power shifted completely, and she understood she had made a grave mistake. Stepping outside, the cool morning air washed over me like freedom. Every breath felt like shedding the weight of months of doubt and humiliation. I wasn't angry anymore. I was clear-headed. I didn't need validation from someone who couldn't even acknowledge my presence. I walked down the street with a calm, growing confidence. That walk wasn't just physical. It was emotional, mental, spiritual. I had chosen myself, and nothing she did could undo that choice. Inside the cafe, everything had changed. My absence left a silence she couldn't ignore. Her laughter faded. Her movements slowed. Panic flickered across her face. Everyone who had witnessed the scene, the barista, the couple nearby, even the man she'd been entertaining, saw her composure unravel. For the first time that morning, she understood the cost of her actions. She thought I'd crumble. She thought I'd beg. She thought I'd stay. But she had underestimated the strength of quiet dignity. As the cafe returned to its normal rhythm, she tried to restore some control. Forced smiles, nervous gestures, even a soft whisper my name, hoping I'd look back or offer a chance at reconciliation. But the moment had passed. The message was already delivered. My calm, deliberate exit had shown her exactly what it meant to cross someone who finally chooses themselves. She lost her grip. She lost her audience. She lost the illusion of control she clung to so tightly. In the days that followed, she sent subtle messages, half-hearted apologies, hesitant attempts to explain. But I was no longer within reach. I had already drawn my line. Walking away that morning wasn't a reaction. It was a declaration of worth. I had proven that my dignity meant more than her approval, and she finally understood that her actions had consequences she could not undo. That morning stayed etched in my mind forever. Her smile meant for another man the quiet shock in the cafe and my steady, intentional walk toward the door. It wasn't about anger. It wasn't about revenge. It was about freedom. She was finally forced to face the outcome of her choices, and I finally reclaimed my life. From that day forward, I knew no one would ever make me feel invisible or undervalued again. The silent exit had spoken louder than any words ever could, leaving her frozen in disbelief and everyone else stunned by the undeniable power of self-respect.